Chicken dinners. If your team is a chicken dinner, then there's nothing you gotta talk about this season.
I gave you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall when I'm at the ball? I gave you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall when I'm at the ball? I gave you my all. I gave you my all. I showed you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall? How could I fall when I'm at the ball? Yeah. I gave you my all. I gave you my all. I showed you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall? How could I fall when I'm in the ball? Yeah. I gave you my all. I gave you my all. I showed you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall? How could I fall when I'm in the ball? Yeah. I gave you my all. I gave you my all. I showed you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall? How could I fall when I'm in the ball? Yeah. I gave you my all. I gave you my all. I showed you my all. I showed you my all. How could I fall? How could I fall when I'm in the ball? Yeah. I shed a few tears. Yeah. Man, this is my year. Yeah. How can you manage, damn it? Yeah. When it feel like a live? Yeah. How can you handle a nigga that's ready and dressed with the gear? Yeah. Please light a candle and put on your mans if money ain't here. Yeah. Boy, did you hear? Yeah. I live with no fear. Yeah. They cannot scar me and they can't bar me because the flow is real. Yeah. I didn't work too hard. I play my part and I'm on my steer. Yeah. I am an element. You are irrelevant like lights on a deer. Yeah. I am an elephant. We on some killer shit. That's how I feel. Yeah. What you mean, nigga? Come on, some money. Gave you my all. I gave you my all. I showed you my all. I showed you my all. How can
We good.
Yes.
So, I'd like to welcome everybody to the On God podcast. Everything I do it on God. Every time we do this shit, we do it on God. And when I do it with these two crazy motherfuckers, we definitely do this shit on God. I am Young Money Bad News, the co-CEO of Star Money Gang co-CEO of Star Money Click and Money Gang co-CEO. I don't know why it sounds like that right now. It sounds wild. I don't either.
Come on, the little noises.
Yeah. I got 1-5 with me, the co-CEO of Star Money Click and the Money Gang co-CEO, like I said before. And I got Jimmy 2 times with me, the number one Oklahoma Sooner fan and the number one 49ers fan. Whatever that sound was, it's gone now. I don't know what the fuck you did, Ty, but it worked. And we are the On God podcast. Welcome to the show. How y'all doing on this Sunday?
Not bad.
Fancy football
All right.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely. So I'm gonna go quickly with some things that's happened recently. First, I want to give a shout out to the Ravens. Their O-line coach passed away today.
Yeah.
It was crazy too. He was 70 years old, and he passed away from a treatment. They was giving him a treatment for, I guess, some type of cancer, and I guess his body didn't respond well to it. So we got his family in prayer. I just want to get that shout out first. Shout out to Asia Wilson for hitting the game winning buzzer beater today. Her team is back rolling like they was gonna be rolling, like I knew they would do anyway during the season. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. She's rolling. She's looking like she's gonna be the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Which I'm not surprised about. Shout out to JT. JT's supposed to be going to see her play on Thursday. So I'm gonna start in college football. Couple just quick facts. I'm gonna give out before we get into this contenders and pretenders today, because we're doing contenders and pretenders today, NFL and college. But this is hilarious because the first game was Florida State and Georgia Tech, who played on Saturday. Hell of a game. It was in Ireland. Ireland showed out. They showed up and showed out. I really liked the way that Florida State and Georgia Tech's fan base traveled there, because it was deep as fuck. I mean, and it was on both sides. They fans was there. Like, it wasn't like some random motherfuckers watching the game. It was motherfuckers that was Georgia Tech fans and those Florida State fans. But what I took from the game was DJ U. That's what I'm gonna start calling him, because I ain't gonna keep fucking up his name. But
DJ Ukulele.
He didn't play a bad. He didn't play a bad game at all. He didn't throw no touchdowns, but he didn't cost his team the game. He was 19 for 30. But Florida State's defense lost. They lost too much on D because they couldn't stop the
Yeah.
run, and Georgia Tech exploited that. Georgia Tech, their running back only ran for 75 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. But it was just crucial plays that Georgia Tech made down the stretch and into the third quarter that really like solidified the W for them. I'm really impressed with how Georgia Tech looks because if Georgia Tech plays every team in the ACC like they did Florida State every Saturday, Georgia Tech gonna be in the fucking ACC championship. And I'm just gonna be honest, like they defense played lights out, and they offensive line and they running game is a problem. It's a problem. And if you, I mean, it doesn't see that, and that's the thing. I'm gonna use what Caleb Downs said. Caleb Downs had an interview about playing at Ohio State and playing for. They said, "What's the difference between playing for Ohio State and playing in the SEC?" And he said, "It's not really a difference. You can either say Ohio State is above SEC play, or you could say it's exactly the same." He said it's not based on like what league you're in or what conference you're in. It's based on who you playing and if you come to play on Saturday. So he said, we play Akron Saturday. If we don't come to play on Saturday, it's going to look like Akron is a good team. But if we come to play our game on Saturday, there's a good chance we can beat Akron like we're supposed to pretty easily. We do have a 49.5 point. That's the point spread on our game against these guys. So, but I get what he's saying. Florida State came into that game against Georgia Tech thinking we Florida State. And we just get on the field with these motherfuckers. We gonna win this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we keep it. It don't matter if it's close or not. We still Florida State. And I can tell they fan base thought that shit too because Florida State was just lollygagging around. They was playing real conservative. They wasn't really doing nothing. And Georgia Tech was playing like, this is the last game of the season. If we win this motherfucker, we going to the playoff. So I feel like all year long, your favorite team is going to get tested every Saturday. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking Saturday, they're going to come to play. And the question is, are you going to stand up or are you going to sit the fuck down? But Florida State dropped the egg. Now, what does that say about Florida State? Nothing. They just lost the game. Because in this playoff system, you can lose 2. What did I tell you? You can't lose 3 2 times. Because imagine when Florida State lose 3 games, right? And let's say Georgia Tech finished the season at 6-7 or some shit like that. They're going to go back to that game and go, well, you know who got one of the worst losses in the country right now? Florida State. Ranking-wise, going to be hard for them to get in. So they can't lose no more games for real because they lost their first conference game. I can see if it was an out-of-conference game. That's a conference game. That shit counts.
They're gonna lose more than 1 game. They're gonna lose about 3 or 4 games.
I mean, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just using them as an example as far as
No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
When we talk about the playoff, I don't.
Because I watched it I watched the back end of that game.
Yeah, I watched
and they look. No, I know. You remember I called you. We talked to each other, and you was telling me. And remember I said they lost a lot of people on that team, and it's like night and day from last year.
That defense ain't. Yeah, it's not. The defense ain't good enough.
It's a waterfall.
They got 2 running backs. They can run the ball. His passing game was decent, but they not gonna. They can't. If you can't stop the run, you're gonna lose all season long. But I'm gonna throw that out there. Shout out to Georgia Tech for getting them a good W. They needed that. They look good. Yeah. They look good. They running game look good. Florida A&M was number 25 in the country. They played Norfolk State. They jumped out on their ass 7-0 on Florida A&M. Florida A&M almost lost the game too. They won by 1, 24-23. They ranked number 25 in the country, which I didn't even know until the game. I was kind of confused, but what I did like is that's a HBCU. Mm-hmm. So for HBCU to be ranked in the top 25, that shows me that the NCAA is finally going, we respecting what the fuck be going on around us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to start respecting what the fuck be going on. Because it's been getting, when Deion was at Jackson State, Jackson State was sweet as fuck, but they was never ranked in the country for real.
No.
So it's like you gotta pay attention to what's going on. Florida A&M got the W, so I don't know if they're gonna stay number 25 because they only won by 1 point. But the HBCU, y'all better pay attention to them because that was a good ass game. Montana beat no, not Montana. New Mexico beat Montana State.
Yeah.
They put it on them for real. It really wasn't even that close.
It wasn't.
It was one more game I missed. I can't think of who it was.
Northern Alabama and
Was it Colorado State?
It was some because I seen the score and I didn't pay no attention. I said, all right. Because at first I thought it was Northern Arizona.
I'm sorry if I don't remember who y'all played. I don't know who won the game, but
yeah, it was no disrespect.
No disrespect. It's just a testament of what's going on. We back. College football is back, so it's like
it sure is.
We gonna keep up with all the games as much as we can. But that Florida State Georgia Tech game was a good ass game. I watched it from front to end, and like I said, I was impressed with Georgia Tech's running back Haynes, and I was impressed with their quarterback. He had a lot of moxie. He know how to play. He could play. So don't sleep on Georgia Tech. They're gonna be there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna step into this contenders world and pretenders world.
We're doing.
I think we should start in the NCAA. It's cool. We can start in college. Yeah. College got more teams anyway. So what we'll do is this: we'll go by conference, and you'll pick who you think is a contender. And well, I'll just throw out the names because I know most of the teams in these conferences, and y'all tell me if y'all think they're a contender or a pretender. We'll just do it that way, make it even easier.
That's cool.
We'll start in let's start in the Big 12.
Okay.
So in the Big 12, let's start with Utah. 1-5, do you think they're a contender or you think they're a pretender?
Oh man. I'll say contender. Contender. Yeah.
2 times, what you think?
They got them ranked in the top 15 in the country. That don't mean nothing. You know, teams will start out the top 5 and end up out not even ranked anymore. But as for the Big 12, I almost got them winning the Big 12. You know what I mean? You know, it's between them. I remember I picked Oklahoma State a few weeks back when we first talked about this. Between probably Oklahoma State and Utah, but Utah, I give them a contender. I give them a pass on that for right now.
I'm going to go contender for Utah. They are returning one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Cam Rising is a dog. Him and CJ Stroud had the duo at the Rose Bowl. He's also bringing back that same tight end that was balling in that same game. That coach Whittingham knows how to coach. That team has won. They won the Pac-12 when the Pac-12 had Lincoln Riley in it. Utah is for real. Utah's not no joke. And the Utah is my favorite to win the Big 12. But I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. They in the top 15. They should be in the top 10.
Well, they're 12th in the nation, AP wise.
They should be in the top 10. That's how good they're gonna be. You just remember I told you that. That's how good them motherfuckers gonna be.
I mean, I got them finishing in the top 15. I mean, maybe even the top 10. But it was just like after last season's debacle. But they had quarterback issues.
He was hurt. That's
why I said they had quarterback issues.
They're gonna be in the playoff. Watch. I told you that. They're gonna be in the college football playoff. They that goddamn good, and they're gonna win the Big 12. What about Kansas?
Pretender.
2 times. I give. You said pretender. 1-5.
Hey, it didn't matter. I got them pretending because, like I said, you know, they hung with Texas last year, but that was last year. This is a whole new season.
I think they're a contender. I've done my research. Their quarterback is a bad motherfucker. That's all I'm saying.
They got some players on that team, man. But you know what? Let me do this. Let me back up. As an artist formerly known as a Big 12 member, you know, my team is now in the SEC. I will say this. In the past, Kansas has this issue where they'll come one year and they'll kick in the nuts or they'll actually contend. Now, with my team, Texas and Oklahoma not even in the conference anymore, you know, I guess I'm not trying to be biased, but it's like, what does life look like with us out not being in the Big Eight slash Big 12 because we were always there. We're no longer there. So it's kind of like with anything else, man. When the lead singer leaves a band, what does that band look like afterwards? You know what I mean?
Right, but you can't base the league on your two
I'm
teams
I'm
because
I'm trying not to. That's what I'm saying. That's
like
what I'm saying
you
to you.
have nothing right, like you have nothing to do with this anymore. And like I said,
Exactly.
if you ain't did your research on Kansas, you would never know they was this good. And when I tell you right now, remember you heard it come out my mouth, contender, because I do my research. I know what the fuck I be talking. I know what's going on in Kansas right now. And that quarterback in Kansas, he's a bad motherfucker. That's
I
all I'm gonna say.
called Kansas this week, and they said all that's there is fucking cows and tornadoes.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's that.
And they're
Hey,
and they're
hey,
pretenders.
hey, 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 that's fine.
Got a
that
right across
that's fine. That's fine.
the gas
Hey,
station.
hey,
They
what's
can
in
get
that?
they can
Hey,
get put with some cow
what's
shit.
what's in Ohio? Cows and shit, right? Ain't
Not
nothing
not
in
And
Ohio.
all three of us.
uh,
Ohio, but Ohio State is still
like
dogs. Don't
Kansas,
get it twisted.
basically open fields with a tree here and there. And
Yeah,
when I
you
say
better start. See, that's
like
the thing. Y'all better start doing your research, man.
yeah,
And big stupid ass tornadoes.
You better start doing your research because when Kansas jump off the when Kansas in the top 25 all year, don't say I didn't say so. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't say
I
that.
mean, they could probably be in the top 25, but like I said, I mean, here's the thing. I like I like Oklahoma State more than I like Kansas. But does that mean by a lot? No. But I'm just saying, there's about two or three teams that I feel like they could actually win the Big 12. It's probably the between the three that we've just mentioned, including Oklahoma State. So
Then
Oklahoma
you
State,
can't say
Utah.
then you can't call them a pretender if you think they can win the Big 12.
But if I had to
How does
pick
that even?
between those
How does that
three,
even?
if I had
But
to,
that still makes you a contender. Even if you pick in between, you're see. This is the thing. We're not saying who's going to win the conference. We're
mhm,
saying who is a contender in that conference.
to win the conference.
No. The question is who's a contender, who's a pretender? There's 12 slots for the playoff, right? But
Yeah,
there's 25 spots as a ranked team in the country. I'm not
yeah.
asking you who is going to win their conference. I'm asking you who in that conference is a contender because it's 5 teams in the SEC right now that's contenders, but all 5 of them motherfuckers ain't gonna win the SEC. I don't
we'll
believe
see,
half of them motherfuckers.
we'll see here's the thing. I'm on the fence with Colorado. Colorado's another team in that conference. I don't see.
We'll get there. We'll get there. All I'm saying is so we can separate what y'all thinking we doing. We're not going who is going to win the conference. We're going who is the contenders in that conference. So if you got 4 teams in that conference you think are contenders, tell me who they are. Just because they're not going to win the actual conference championship, that don't make them a pretender. Period. See what I'm saying? So that's what we're really doing. I think you're getting this mixed up with, oh, well, they're not gonna win it, so I'm not picking them. No. If you think I'm picking Kansas as a contender because I think they're a contender, not because I think they're gonna win a Big 12. I already told you I said I think they'll win the Big 12. Utah.
Yeah.
That's not named Kansas. That's Utah. I
I
got
think
Utah winning it, but
in
I know
10,
Kansas got some shit. They got some shit. That offense is one of the best offenses in the country, and it's
and
gonna be scary.
you know what news? They may be ranked this year, but I don't think they're going to contend for the 12 slots at the end of the year. That's
And
what
that ain't what I'm talking about either. That ain't what we talking about either. I'm just talking about contending in the
Just
conference.
in the Big
If you
12.
just in the Big 12, I ain't said nothing about the 12-team playoff. Because you already told me who your 12-team playoff people were earlier this year. We had this conversation. So I'm gonna move to the next team in the Big 12. Is Kansas State a contender or a pretender?
a contender.
Kansas State. The thorn in my motherfucking side. Uh, Pretender. I got them
I
down
think
as a contender.
I think they're a contender.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
I think they're a contender.
Yep.
The only thing they lost was the quarterback we got. They won the Big 12 last year with our quarterback, and they returning everybody except they got a backup, but he was playing a lot once Will Howard left. So he's been in the system for over a year. I think they're contenders. Let's go Oklahoma State. Let's go Oklahoma State.
Contender.
Think they're
Contender.
contender.
Long as Gundy's the head coach there, you got to give him a chance.
I think they're a contender, but I think they're good, but I don't think they're as good as the country think they are. I think they're gonna be decent at the beginning of the year, but I think they're gonna fall off at the end of the year.
Well, they have a tendency. This is their thing. They have a tendency to contend within those years where they could have a tendency to contend and then shit the bed at the end of the year. But like I told you, see, here's the thing. This is what's so perplexing to me. All my life, my team has been in this conference. They're gone now. And I'm not basing that off anything, but here's the thing. When you know a certain team, one or two teams normally wins a conference and they both leave, that means everything's up for grabs. There's a lot of good teams in a lot of these conferences, especially this one. A lot of these are new members. So we don't know how anybody's going to really look until they actually hit the ground running. But like I tell you this much, Kansas and Kansas State, going back a little bit, like I said, we don't know what they're going to look like until they hit the field. That's why I don't put a lot of stock in them. Now Oklahoma State, like I told you,
we don't know what nobody going to look like. So you can't really say that. You can't say Oklahoma State is contender and then in the same sentence say, but we don't know what nobody going to look like. We don't know what nobody going to look like, bro. That's why it's called a prediction. You're predicting.
I know, but I'm going off of past history. Because that's all I got.
But they not.
I know, but that's all I got to go off of.
Either. But they're not the same teams no more either, though. When you
the only thing
it's a new year. It ain't the same shit.
The only thing I like is we've gone and they've got a whole bunch of new participants in this conference. So like I said, it's up for grabs. But I'm going off the history.
We ain't even named nobody new in this conference but one team.
Well, because we haven't gotten all the new teams yet.
We've only got Utah.
I know. We got to get to the rest of them.
That's what I'm saying. But you making it like we didn't already brought up a bunch of new names. We ain't brought up no new names but one name. And everybody got their opinion on. And that's what I'm saying. You can't say a team is a contender and then you say in the same sentence you go, but we ain't seen them play, so we really don't know. Duh. We don't know shit. We're just going off what we think. And I'm going off what I've been researching the whole summer. See, I got to do this for a reason. I'm watching Joel Klatt every day. So I know what Kansas got. I know what Kansas State got. I know what Oklahoma State got. I know what Utah got. I know what all these teams got. I'll move on to the next team in this conference. Colorado. Are they a contender or a pretender?
I got them as a pretender.
Okay.
I'm on the fence.
Year away. They're a year away. Deion starting to get people in.
I'm on the fence. They made some significant moves during the summertime. You know, Deion's always a factor because sometimes when you have a good coach, a lot of times, especially in the college rankings, I don't care if it's football or basketball or what have you, a lot of times a successful and a coach that knows exactly what he's doing can actually boost you even though you may not have the talent sometimes. Sometimes you overachieve just because you have a good coaching staff. So, you know what? I'm going to take them off the fence and I'm going to say pretender.
I think they're a contender in the Big 12. I don't think they're a contender in the 12-team playoff. And the reason why I say this is because I don't think they're a year away. I think they're exactly where they're supposed to be. I think the problem with Deion and them is the expectations last year was too high, and he didn't have the players he needed for the expectations. He actually has the players he needs a little bit more than he did last year. And I don't think the expectations is as high as they were last year. So I think they're
No.
gonna actually I think they're gonna play under the radar. So it's gonna be easier for them to get W's that you think they might lose. I think they're gonna win more games than they won last year. I do see that happening. But a 12-team playoff, unless they go on one of them hot ass runs, I don't see that. But I see them contending in the Big 12 at the beginning of the Big 12 season. But I think I think they're gonna do what Oklahoma State's gonna do. I think as the end of the season start rolling around, they kind of gonna fall down a little bit. I still think they're gonna make a bowl game though. I do think they'll make.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were a
I think
couple of situations and a couple of injuries away from doing that. I agree with you.
because they have they receiving core is sweet as fuck. Their back end is sweet as fuck on the corner side on defense. It's just their O line and D line, and really it's just their O line. But supposedly they fixed some spots with that O line that. So we'll see. And then they got a good running back from us. We gave them Hayden, and Hayden's a dog. And I just believe in Shador. I think Shador is the best quarterback in the country. I don't think nobody's better than him, and that's just me personally.
Yeah.
I just
Now I do want.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I do want
Nah,
to
go
say
ahead.
this. The reason why I'm putting them in the pretender role is because I don't think they can contend in the end for the Big 12, but I think they will improve. I think they will be bowl eligible, but I don't think they will be be in a situation where they will be contending for the actual division lead or actually winning the conference at all.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
where
so
I'm
either.
at with it. Yeah,
I don't want to be wrong, but I believe Houston is in this conference too
yeah,
now, right?
they
Okay,
are.
so we'll
They
move.
are
That's our next team. Houston is the next team. Contender or pretender?
Pretender.
pretender.
I got pretender too as well. So I've done Utah, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Colorado, Houston. Who am I missing?
Arizona.
Arizona, West Virginia.
Okay,
Hmm.
let's go to Arizona. Arizona, contender or pretender?
Tender.
Uh, I'm gonna go contender on this one. And the only reason why I want to go contender is because, like I said, this is a new member of the Pac from the Pac-12. You're heading into the Big 12, and I just want to pick a. I want to pick a surprise team that can just come in and actually do something. And I feel like I feel like Arizona can come in and probably be a little successful. So
Arizona.
I'm gonna choose them. I'm gonna choose them.
We're talking Arizona right now.
Yes, sir.
So we talking what?
We're talking Arizona, the red and blue and white.
Yeah, Arizona
Wildcat.
Wildcats. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's still under. I was just making sure we're talking about that.
Oh, it's kind of hard for me. I'm on the fence with them because Arizona in the Pac-12 was good. They
That's what I'm
they
saying.
held
That.
they held their own every year. They're not bums at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough.
Because it's
Here's
rough when you're in the conference that had Oregon or Oregon State running up and down the field.
I'm gonna call them a pretender for right now. I'll say pretender for right now. And don't worry, we'll do this again as the season starts. When we start seeing people that start winning, we're gonna resurface this again. I'll go pretender right now, but I'm on the fence with them. I'll say on the fence. Is Arizona State? Did they go to the Big 12 too?
They are in. I want to say they are in.
They didn't
their
come to
Where the hell did
us.
they go? No, where the hell did they go?
Big
I want
12.
to say they went to another one. It's Conference US. They went somewhere else, but they're not. I'm trying to think. See,
They are Big 12.
Our Big 12.
no,
Yep.
are they?
Yes. Arizona and Arizona State both. Yep.
Yes, they are. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get used to this myself.
I was thinking they were.
Yep.
Is Arizona State a contender or a pretender?
Pretender.
Pretender. You know what? And there's another reason I'm not a huge fan of Arizona State because remember they had the classless move of firing your boy. Say it again.
I don't know. News freeze up.
Yeah, he froze up. Okay, so and you know, I'm not picking pretender with them because of they normally suck anyway. But when they fired your boy Herm Edwards the way they fired him walking off the field, I just was never a fan of their or of their front office and how they handle things at their university. You don't do stuff like that to especially if somebody of Herm Edwards' stature, man. That dude was a classy head coach, and I just never was a fan of that. So teams and organizations and colleges and universities that do stuff like that, man, they don't have success because you don't do people like that. You wait till the end of the season, call them and say, hey, look, we're gonna go in a different direction and move on from there and do it like they normally do.
Exactly.
The Lane Kiffins and stuff like that when he was being a jerk. Yeah, you fire him on the runway. You don't do Herm Edwards like that, man. That wasn't cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's back, folks, by popular demand.
The wilderness.
All right. So
Good take a leak.
I don't know what happened. Nah, it just kicked me out. I don't know why it kicked me out.
Yeah, you froze up and it was just it.
Yeah, y'all froze up too on me, and that's how I knew something was wrong. We was at Arizona State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I called him pretender. I don't know, and then
He was
1-5 was. I think he called them pretenders also.
Okay, so pretender. I know I'm missing one team. I think.
We got Baylor. There's Baylor, West Virginia, Texas, TCU,
Baylor, TCU, West Virginia, Cincinnati.
Okay, so let's go.
Cincinnati. Yeah,
Let's go. Baylor. Contender or pretender?
pretender.
You said pretender.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Baylor's tough every year.
TCU.
I'll say contender. They're usually pretty tough.
I'm gonna say pretender.
Yeah.
I was going pretender also.
They lost too much.
Yeah, once Dugan left a couple years ago, that team been going downhill.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
West Virginia. Pretender or contender?
Pretender.
Yeah, I'll go pretender with West Virginia this year.
I'll say pretender. And last but not least, the Natty.
I'll say pretender. They've been downhill since Fickle left.
And I was about to ask if he was still there or not. I hadn't really, You go? Yeah, they're toast.
Wisconsin.
Yep, he's at Wisconsin.
That's right, he sure is.
I'll go pretender as well. So that'll round out the Big 12. I do have one question. So since we went through the Big 12, who do y'all got winning the Big 12?
Utah.
Probably Utah.
I got Utah as well. We'll move on to the ACC.
Can we just go ahead and say all pretenders?
No. Because I'm gonna have a surprise.
That would be the ACC.
Because like I said, I've been doing my research all summer.
So, the Go Conference.
You're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be surprised who I think gonna win the ACC. We'll start with Florida State. Pretenders or contenders?
I'll say pretenders. They lost too much.
I'm gonna go with contenders, man.
So you think they're gonna recover from the Georgia Tech loss?
They ain't got no choice. Now, does that mean they will? No, but they don't have no choice. They're already in a hole that they dug themselves by not taking this first game seriously. No.
They took it serious. Georgia Tech is a good team. They took it serious. I watched the whole game. Florida State wasn't playing with them. Florida State was not playing with them.
Let's put it like this. They dug a hole. They were 10th in the nation. I don't know how far back that's going to drop them, losing to an unranked team. I don't know how far forward Georgia Tech's going to come into the, towards the top 25, whether they were just out on the outside looking or not. But Florida State, I got them as a contender for right now.
I got them as pretenders. Because when it comes to a conference game, first game of the season, You got to handle business, and they ain't handle
Oh, I
business.
agree. I
And
agree.
it ain't that I don't think they can make it to it ain't that they can't make it to the ACC championship. I just know they're not going to win the ACC, so it don't even matter. They're a pretender to me. Um, Clemson, pretender or contender?
I I want to say pretender. I'm
Okay.
not a fan of Dabo Sweeney.
Who said Debo?
Debo Dabo. I'm not a big fan of him. I think he's overhyped a little bit. He had his little run, and I think it's about over.
I had called for Dabo to have a bounce back season, so I got them as a contender.
Mhm.
I got them as a pretender, but I'm on the fence about it.
That's
But the problem with Dabo Sweeney is he does not agree with the transfer portal. He's still stuck in the Nick Saban way of living life in the NCAA.
I think that's
He
what's hurting him.
that is what's hurting him. So that's why I said I got him as a pretender right now, but it could change. But right now, they're pre- they're pretenders to me. So I'm gonna go pretender. Um, let's go with Virginia Tech, pretender or contender in the ACC.
Man, I got them contending.
Okay,
I got pretending also.
I do too.
Just
I do
just
too.
just because
They got they
yeah.
got 22 returning starters on their team.
And I was just about to say that. Yeah, they was a damn person. And even the janitor is coming back.
Yeah, they bringing back everybody.
Yeah.
Um, let's go Miami, contender or pretender?
Man, can we skip Miami because they always let people down, man. Damn.
I want to say
Um,
this year.
you know what? Like I said, man, uh, Miami is a historic college that, you know, every time you see them in the top rankings, you be like, okay, Miami might be back, and then here they go, falling. Um, we'll say contend for right now.
One fat, what'd you say?
I said contender.
Okay, I got the, I got I'm there. I got them contending, and I got them winning the whole ACC
Yeah, I mean I don't have
because
them.
they got. And the reason why I got them winning the ACC because they got Cam Ward from Washington State as their quarterback, and Cam Ward know how to play, and that's been their problem this whole time. They ain't had no quarterback. Their quarterback wasn't
And
no
that
good.
and that and you know what? You beat me to it. That's been their whole problem every time. They'll be ranked high in the damn
And
rankings, and then their
Cam Ward
quarterback
can
they will
play.
kill them every time. It will kill them
Cam
every time.
Cam Ward can play. He was balling at Washington State. Washington State had Washington beat, but they blew it. Um, let me see. Who else am I missing at the ACC? Oh, Georgia Tech, contender or pretender?
I
Uh,
mean, since they've been a top ranked team, I got them. I got them contending.
I think they're going to be tougher than you think, but I don't think they're going to contend all year. They're going to fade off.
Okay, okay. I got them as a contender right now, but we'll see. Uh, they look good in the first game, but you never know. Sometimes you ride a hype train and then you start getting the brakes beat off your ass. So
Exactly.
we'll see. North Carolina, contender or pretender?
Pretender.
Which
Pretender
team?
for me for sure. North Carolina, Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Man,
It's hard to bounce back sometimes when you lose a quality quarterback. Sometimes.
I'm on
I
the
think
fence.
they're. I
I think
got them as a pretender.
because they lost their
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah, man. Drake May.
Yeah, they lost their.
Drafted by the Patriots.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll say pretender this year.
Okay. Duke, pretender or contender?
Is that a question?
Pretend. Well, shit. That defense wasn't bad last year.
It's all right. But I'm gonna say pretender.
Um, mm, I'm on the fence with that one because they were actually solid last
I'm
year.
going.
I
I'm
don't know how
going
many people they
pretender.
lost.
I'm going pretender because they lost their starting quarterback to Notre Dame.
Yep.
Oh, he did transfer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pretend.
The quarterback that beat Notre Dame is playing for Notre Dame now.
Okay, and then like I said, that defense was solid last year. and I couldn't remember exactly off of just what I looked at if they had lost, how many people they had lost, graduation or draft wise. So
I want to see. I want to say, am I missing anybody in the ACC right now? I
North
don't think.
Carolina State.
Oh yeah. I mean, NC State, contender or pretender?
Pretender.
I'm gonna say contend on that one.
I'm gonna say pretender.
Really?
Uh,
Yeah, they're
mm-hmm.
play football at NC State. Come on, man.
No, NC State's been good at football before, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the top 25 this year.
They've been
I
good
think
at
like,
football.
I think they're like 24th, 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't. I'm right now. Right now, they're pretenders to me, but I don't. They might. It might change. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
I'll
this
wait.
this is the preseason version of this. By week six or seven, we'll pretty much know who the hell is who throughout the country.
I think that's the whole ACC in a nutshell. I'm
Yeah, because
trying to
we
think
ain't
of
got
who.
we ain't got to go through. We ain't got to worry about Stanford and all them.
Yeah, I don't. I don't care for none of them bums.
Yeah, Stanford and them and Wake Forest. We don't care about them.
We're gonna move on to the. We're gonna go to the. We ain't gonna do the Pac-12 because there's two teams.
Yeah, that's gonna be real easy.
Oh, that's funny. We're gonna go to the SEC. So in the SEC, we're gonna start with. Let's start with Missouri. Pretender or contender?
Pretend.
Yeah, I'll say pretender.
I'm gonna say contender because they have the easiest schedule in the SEC this year. They don't play none of the top teams,
Mm.
so that's all it takes. They're not playing none of the dogs. So when they're there at the end, don't be surprised I told y'all that.
Did they lose that wide receiver and that running back they had last year?
Nope, they came
Because
back.
they had that wide receiver going to us this year.
Luther Luther Burden is still on Missouri, and they brought back the same quarterback. They still got the same team, and they don't play nobody in the SEC this year that's worth playing. That's gonna beat them. They got
hmm.
like one. They got like one tough game in the SEC this year.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
because I know they went on our schedule. So,
I told you. I told you. You better do your research, player. Um, let's
well, that's what I
go.
asked you. Hey, I knew about the wide receiver and the running back. I just wasn't
Let's
sure if they was still there or
go.
not.
Let's go. Tennessee, pretender or contender?
Uh,
Hmm.
I'll say contender.
Pretend.
I'm gonna say pretender. Um, let's go. Ole Miss.
Contend. Lane Kiffin is a solid head coach, man, and they got a lot of talent on that team.
I'll say contend.
I'm gonna say contender because they bringing back Jackson Dart again. They got
Hmm.
a they got a good they even though we took their running back, they replaced him for a good running back, and they're always a problem. They're gonna be a problem, and they got a friendly schedule too, but they do play a couple teams in the SEC that's top notch. Um,
They would be
let's
even
go.
scarier if they had their old offensive coordinator, which is my offensive coordinator, Libby. If they had him still, they'd be probably one of the best offenses in the country, hands down.
Well, they're gonna be one of the best offenses in the country anyway, because Lane
I'm
Kiffin
talking
gonna
about
be
like
doing
even better than what they got going on. Because Libby lifted us up. So
it. Let's go Vanderbilt. Pretender or contender?
Contender.
I'm on the fence. They normally stink, but you know what? Like I said, people coming into this conference that wasn't there already. But I'm gonna keep them at pretend no.
I got them pretenders, but they got one of the fastest quarterbacks in the country on their squad, and
Yeah,
he gonna be a problem. Um, let's go with South Carolina. Contender or pretender?
pretend.
I'll say
Pretend Rattler left. I don't know who their quarterback is,
One
and
five, you
they.
must be you must have a lot going on. 1 5. We ain't seen you. We ain't seen you for like 4 teams in a row. Like,
what happened. What happened was my wife left and my phone transferred to the car, and I had to get
They
off.
were getting the whole podcast for free.
well,
Yeah, I just had to get
you was
off.
just on. You was just on here, and you just went back off.
You said peekaboo.
Got like a little
Uh,
You can barely see me moving my hand across it.
Nah, we can see you clear as day.
But that's what happened was I went to go turn my Bluetooth off so that I'd come back on my phone, and then I just dropped off.
Hey man, it's better than porn showing up in the car versus just the podcast.
Let's go. Texas A&M, pretender or contender?
Contender.
There I am.
Hey man, nice to see you.
Hey, been a while. I'll say Texas A&M's a contender this year.
I'm gonna go pretender for right now. They played Notre Dame the first week of the season, and I think depending on what they do after that game, it'll tell me who they're gonna be. So I'll wait. Um, let's go with the Longhorns of Texas. Pretender or contender?
Man, I wanted to say contender. They lost both their running backs, man.
I thought about that too, but that don't mean nothing with them.
That don't mean a damn thing with
That's
you.
what I'm saying. I mean, they
Yeah,
can't.
They got running backs by committee.
man, they have a factory that they make them next door or something.
They got boys. They got players for days.
Yeah, them and
Exactly.
I'll say contender, man. I think Texas is pretty good. They're returning back their quarterback.
As much as I hate them, I can't even. I'm not even going to do that one.
I say contender, and they're gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna be in the 12.
Contender and playoff to me for me. As much as I hate with you were still there and everything, and that defense it should have gotten better from last year. So we'll
All
see.
right, we're gonna go Boomer Sooner in Oklahoma. Contender or pretender?
Uh, here's the problem.
What you say, one
My
five? You said pretender? Okay.
my quarterback, man, he's gonna have me take drinking Alka Seltzers to the beer all fucking year, man.
He's gonna have
Uh,
to get some of my
you know
alcohol.
what? As much as I hate to say this, man, and I really don't want to say this, pretend.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. Athletically, you're Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But the quarterback, man, is fucking us up, man. I look, the dude goes into the bowl game, and I'm thinking like, oh God, he's the guy. By the end of the game, I said, man, give me somebody else on the phone.
I'm gonna just say that athletically, you're Oklahoma, so you're always gonna be there. But because your quarterback is, I don't know. I'm gonna go pretender for right now. Y'all gonna have to just show me something. That's all I'm gonna
They
say.
don't have to show me something.
They gonna have to show me
You,
something.
you think I did not enjoy saying that.
We'll go Mississippi State. Contender or pretender?
Pretend.
Okay, me too. I agree. Okay, we'll go on to I think I only got two teams left. Alabama.
Bama.
Uh,
Pretend.
What you got, 1-5?
Contender.
I do too. Contender. And Georgia.
Contender.
Contender, obviously.
I agree. Who is the SEC champion this year?
Or when I go ask about LSU, we said fuck LSU, huh?
My bad. I forgot about them. LSU, contender or pretender?
Oh man.
I'm
I'm
on
gonna
the fence with them. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah, yeah. You can't lose the stuff that they've lost, and I'm gonna say pretend, man,
say pretend. I need to see what's coming in.
because they lost their best receiver, their quarterback, all types of shit, and
Uh,
they were average last year anyway.
so who's the SEC champion?
Georgia.
Georgia,
Hmm.
with maybe a hint of Texas.
Yeah, it could be Texas, but I say Georgia.
I'm gonna go Georgia / Texas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
go
think we
Georgia
about 2
/
years and a quarterback away, or maybe this guy in a year away from even saying
Um.
Oklahoma.
So we'll move on to the Big Ten. We'll start with Wisconsin. Pretender or contender?
Man, I'm on the fence with them. They're a good team, but I don't think they're there yet. So I'm gonna say pretender this year.
Contend.
I'm gonna
I
say
like
pretender. I'm gonna say pretender for now, but I know Fickle. He can turn the whole.
and that and
He's my coach. He's one of my guys. So
you took the words right. That's why I said. That's why I said earlier when we started this. Sometimes you can get a head coach as good as Fickle or just as an equivalent that can get a team to overachieve.
we'll go with that. Northwestern, pretenders or contenders?
Pretend.
Pretender. Michigan State, contender or pretender?
Pretend.
Pretend.
It's crazy that we say this now about Michigan State that they're just a pretender.
Man.
They've been this bad for a while now.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to see them be this bad.
Was the head coach
Uh,
there? It was good. He
Uh.
he was under
who?
Saban tree, but I can't remember his name.
D'Antoni. Talking about
Yeah,
Yeah.
D'Antoni.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
they got,
Yeah.
Ohio
When he.
State coach first.
Yeah.
huh?
When he left, that was it.
He was one of our coaches first.
Right, right.
Because he kept them defenses right.
Yeah, when
That's what he's great at, defense. Um, let's go. Let's go with Minnesota, contender or pretender.
pretender.
Pretend.
All right, I agree. Let's go with Iowa, contender or pretender.
I
Pretend.
will contend, but their offense is going to pretend.
I was gonna say you took the words right out of my mouth. That defense is a contender, but that offense is gonna be a pretender. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Holding them
Um,
back.
let's go with who should we go with now?
But for some reason,
Illinois.
they'll have a tight end drop
Pretend.
down. But I'll say,
Oh, the tight end.
yeah,
They keep a dope tight end.
they do.
I'll
I'll say
say pretender
Yeah.
too.
boy, but Illinois is getting better.
Yeah.
Is Illinois
Let's
ever
go.
going to be a contender? Jesus.
They was a contender before. I remember when they was good.
I
Let's go
remember they was
Nebraska.
okay.
Nebraska contender or pretender?
I think Nebraska is a contender this year.
With Patrick Mahomes Jr., I think they contend.
I think they're a pretender. I think they're some players away from being a contender. And let's not leave this out. He was Ohio State's number one quarterback, and he transferred to Nebraska.
Hey,
And
man,
he
everybody
what?
came to Ohio State, okay?
No. Let me finish what I was gonna say. I believe he ran to Nebraska because he didn't want to compete for the job.
Most
That's
of
me
those kids
personally.
do nowadays. A lot of these kids do that shit.
No,
That's why
well, we
Ukuleele's on
got
his 19.
we got the number one. We got the number one quarterback behind Will Howard right now in the class of 2024.
You got like 3 or 4 quarterbacks on that
That's
roster that
what.
I'd take.
Why wouldn't he want to compete? That makes me look at him a little different. It kind of makes me look at him and question: is he really as good as he thinks he is, or is it just he's playing college football and college football is at a different speed than the NFL? So we'll see. We'll see.
Possibility.
Um, let's see. Let's go UCLA, contender or pretender?
Pretender.
Pretend.
I think so too. Shout out to Deshaun Foster for getting
So,
that job
yeah.
done. He
I think
deserved
it's
it.
going to take him a couple years for him to even beat somebody there.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
Let me get USC, pretender or contender.
Pretend.
Pretend.
I'm gonna go pretender right now. Um, but I heard that quarterback they got that play that come up behind Caleb is pretty good. So I want to see what they do. Um,
I mean, that's what Lincoln Riley does.
uh, but
He'll
I
have
don't
one
know.
of
We'll
us as
see.
Heisman Trophy winners.
We'll see. Washington, pretender or contender?
Pretend. They lost too much.
Pretend they lost way too much.
I just say pretender because they lost their coach.
That's
I think if Kalen DeBoer was still there, I think they would be a good team. But without him, they're not gonna be able to do nothing. Um, let's go with Oregon,
I think they're
pretender or contender.
Contender, definitely.
yeah, I think they're a contender.
With Dylan Gabriel at quarterback and that head coach, they're going to be right there.
I think they're a contender, but Dylan Gabriel's not. He does not. He's not the reason why I think they're a contender.
I ain't saying he's the main reason, but like I said,
I don't.
him
I
and
don't
that
even think
coach.
he's. I don't even think he's part of it. I think that coach is just that. I think he's that good. I think that coach is
Yeah, I
that good.
mean that's what I
I
said. You
think.
know,
I think you can let anybody quarterback that team and they're gonna be decent. Um,
I mean he has a great system in place.
right. That's why I didn't say. That's why Dylan Gabriel ain't the reason why I'm convinced. He don't convince me at all because he didn't. He didn't look great in Oklahoma's uniform. So I'm.
Yeah, he did.
Stop.
Man, come on, don't do this.
What was it? What?
Go look.
What
Go
was
look
it?
at the. Go look at the. Go look at the stats. Go look at the plays last year.
What was?
And,
What
and
was his?
mind you,
What?
mind you, he's not wearing a Sooner uniform no more. So I'm
What's his
not. I'm not even gonna
touchdown?
do that.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
Dude, he threw like 30 plus touchdowns last year.
How many interceptions did he have?
Man, he only had a handful of them.
Did y'all win?
Dude, we won like 19 games last year. We only lost a handful of games.
Did you go to the ball game?
Yeah, we lost it. We lost to what you call it. He didn't play because he was transferring. That's the only why he didn't play. He was transferring. That's
Who
why
he was
Jackson
transferring
Arnold was
to?
stupid as was in.
So you
Uh,
lost. You lost a handful of games, but Dylan Gabriel is. I'm supposed to be convinced about Dylan Gabriel.
hey man, I watched the man all year. I would never disrespect him. Like I said, he handled his business while he was there, especially as a transfer, and he's going to do a great job at Oregon. He's a solid quarterback, man. He's a solid quarterback. Very athletic, can run,
I
left-handed.
oh I oh I know what he could do. I've seen him play.
Yeah, man.
I,
That's what I said. What can I tell you? He's gonna have Oregon on some shit this year.
we'll see. Um, Michigan contender or pretender?
Probation.
Hey, Michigan tender, and here's why: they lost their sixth best offensive lineman to the NFL. So I think they're going to have a hard time repeating that run game, and the sanctions coming down. I don't see them competing this year.
It's gonna be harder to get them drones in them schools to watch them games, man. So I got them definitely pretending.
They
Yeah,
pretenders, but they D line is going to be one of the best defensive lines in the country.
right,
Yeah, they're all
Um,
coming back.
right.
they're returning one of the best running backs in the country.
You know
Um,
what else behind what was playing with Corum?
their problem with them is their quarterback is not proven. They don't have a proven
Mm-mm.
guy calling plays. That's why they're going to be pretenders to me. Indiana, contender or pretender?
Pretend.
Pretend.
Pretender. Am I miss? Oh, Purdue, contender or pretender?
Pretender.
Mm, pretend.
So I think I got everybody except us. Ohio State.
Maryland.
Oh,
Contender.
Maryland. Yeah, Maryland. Maryland is a pretender to me.
Pretender.
Same.
I think that's everybody. I don't think I left nobody out. Ohio
Y'all are
State.
definitely contenders.
Ohio State's a
Uh,
contender.
okay. And who do y'all have winning the Big Ten championship? I mean, the Big Ten. I'm sorry.
Ohio State.
I was about to say, do we even have to ask this question?
Yeah.
Nah.
If
It's
you,
y'all and they ain't even close.
I mean, if you don't think you just told me Oregon gonna be really good. Oregon's in the Big
They're gonna be
Ten.
really good, but how are they gonna be Ohio State good? Oh, I got Ohio State. I got y'all possibly winning the national championship this year. I got Oregon being in the tournament, but I don't know if they're good. They're good enough to beat y'all.
All I'm gonna say is we gotta go play them in Oregon
Oregon.
in
Yeah.
October. So we'll see. We'll see. I think that's it for the college football so far. We named the top conferences. We don't really get into all them goofy schools because it ain't
Yeah,
even
we
worth
ain't
it.
got to do with Montana and them.
Um, I kind of want to hold off NFL because we got one more week for NFL.
Yeah, we
I
can do
think we could
We
wait
can
for
wait another week. We
NFL.
can wait another week for
Yeah,
that.
because I don't want to make them cross each other. I want them to set them aside. Uh, but I appreciate everybody checking out this college football contender pretenders. I want to know what y'all contenders and pretenders are when y'all see this. Let's
yeah.
get into our side notes, man, before we get out of here. This episode was based on contenders and pretenders. I just want everybody to know because we really getting excited about college football starting. This is not
Man,
really,
I cannot wait.
yeah, I didn't really want to get into a lot of shit. I got into certain stuff I wanted to get into with the guys on purpose. We'll start with side notes. I did 2 times last week. 1-5. What you got?
Man, I got life being just fucking good, man. Just all the way around. Everything's starting to fall in line for what we got going on. And man, it's just amazing how that shit's worked out for us. Like from conversations to Zoom meetings to banks contacting us to get us ready for business stuff.
Definitely.
Off the fucking music,
Woo.
everything's just falling in line for us right now. And I mean, we work hard, but the hard work's just now starting. And man, just life's just good. I'm blessed to be on here with you two gentlemen, talking.
Same here.
And yeah, I ain't got no complaints this week, man. Everything's wonderful. It's lovely.
God is good.
Yeah.
2 times with your side note.
I got two of them, man, and they're all NFC East related for the NFL, man. So, what if I told you I heard the wildest stat, even though it don't really count for anything, but it's just interesting going into the NFL season? What if I told you not one New York Giants quarterback that put a helmet on this preseason has thrown a touchdown?
That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
I'm not shocked
Exactly.
at all.
Yeah, it was more hilarious to me. And then the second part is, and as much as I hate to say this, even though he's wearing that stupid ass star on his helmet, I think it's time we give up the experiment. The Dallas Cowboys give up the experiment on Trey Lance. Man, he had a five touch interception, 5 interceptions and 2 fumbles the other night, and I think that was his second game of 5 interceptions. And some of the interceptions he was throwing, man, either either he had my vision or the lights was out in the stadium. But he was throwing to people that clearly were not Dallas Cowboys, and it wasn't even close, man.
Hey,
And
hey.
I love the kid so much, man, and I just wanted it to work out. But Dallas, man, I don't know what you're doing, man. You got to go ahead and put him on
One
the
five.
waiver wire, man. It's over. It's
One
over.
five. 1-5. Listen to this though. This motherfucker wanted to keep him too.
They
this
did.
motherfucker was. This motherfucker right here was vouching for him. 1-5.
Hey, man, I was loyal. What you want? What do you want from me? I was loyal.
He
He was mad.
was vouching for
He
him.
showed flashes. Now he's just,
But look,
I don't know what he
one
is
five,
anymore.
1-5. I
I ain't
kept
seen
telling him. I
that big.
kept telling him. I said, James, that boy is sorry. I said, you just won't accept it. He's sorry.
Yeah.
I could see the sorriness. It was
Yeah.
it was just given. I knew he was sorry. I was like, man, that boy's sorry. But that
Pre
boy was really good. Ain't no way Jimmy Garoppolo starting over that boy.
So
Ain't
here's
no
the thing.
way.
When it comes to his legs, there's no question. But when it comes to his arm and his decision making, I don't know what the hell be going on. Because 1 minute he'll throw a nice pass, and the next minute she'll be like, "So you didn't see those three
He
guys
is
standing in front of the wide
he
receiver?"
he is what you call he is Dookie in a bottle.
Trey
That's
him
what I'm saying. His decision making takes laxatives before the game.
He's
he's probably
trash, bro.
water for sale. He
Man,
was
I never wanted to say that, man. But it's just time. It's just time to just keep it all the way. You know what I'm saying? Funky with him, man.
it's time for him to go to the insurance world and start selling
No,
policies.
he need to go to the UFL, or I'm gonna get him an application for me and News's job so he can be he can come collect some blood.
I was gonna say
So
Fed
look,
Round is always hiring.
my side note, my side note is uh
Throwing
I
he
co
went
I
wrong.
co-signed I co-signed my side note, I co-signed what 1-5 said about what we got going on right now.
Mhm.
Um we making like we making life altering moves right now. And I ain't talking about just changes for me and 1-5. I'm talking about changes for the guys I've been around my whole life and the guys that I'm building with, you know what I'm saying? Far as this podcast, far as my music career, this shit is like really like it's about to go left. And I ain't talking about left in the wrong way, I'm talking about left in the right way. But I also want to shout out that it's about to be one of the most amazing weekends ever in college football. OSU will be back on TV finally for on the 31st. Everybody will be playing on the 31st. I'm really excited for this. I cannot wait. We got to start the 12 team playoff. Um, let's just enjoy the shit, man. Let's enjoy this ride, man. It's about to be fun. Uh, so like I say every time I say what I say, everything I do it on God. Every time we do it on God, everything we do it on God. But when I do it with these two crazy motherfuckers, we do this shit on God. I am Young Money Bad News, Star Money Clicks CEO and Money Gangs co-CEO and the number one rapper in the world. I had 1 5 with me, the co-CEO of Star Money Click and the co-CEO of the Money Gang and the number one producer in the world. And I had Jimmy 2 times with me, the number one Oklahoma Sooner fan and the number one 49ers fan in the world. We were the On God podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep checking us out. Y'all stay prayed up. Y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Y'all have a good week. Shout out, shout out to Ohio State. Let's get it.
Assalamu alaikum.
Um.